The long expectation for PJ Haggerty here has been that it was a done deal to NC State. Riley Davis, one of his in-state rivals as a North Carolina fan. And yesterday we got some rumblings for the first time publicly that that might not be the case. In fact, it was college basketball content on Twitter at CBB Content who tweeted Kansas State has the momentum for Memphis transfer PJ Haggerty. This is per Hitmen Hoops, another account that we've referenced on the channel quite a bit. Kansas State is a punchline in our world. Anytime there's a player who we think messed up with their transfer cycle, and we're like, they're going to run out options, we always joke that's Jerome Tang's music. That might literally be what's happening here with PJ Haggerty, Riley. Do you think there's some real legs to this?
I hope so, man. This just feels like a nature is healing occurrence where PJ Haggerty and his agent overplay their hand and they end up at Kansas State. Come on, man. It's too predictable for it not to happen. I've said for years that good things don't happen to NC State. I looked foolish for that during the Final Four run. I was vindicated last year, then looked like a fool again when they hired Will Wade. Their fans were talking like they were going to get Haggerty, like they were going to get Darian Williams, and now neither might happen. That makes me happy. Sorry if I can at least indulge like my hater tendencies for a minute. This is just like it's all of these deep held convictions that I have about the game of college basketball coming back to the surface, and I love it. I'm here for the drama. Oh man, and even Greg, if Haggerty ends up at Kansas State, am I allowed to like have a little bit of belief? Can
No,
I?
no, no, no,
Can
no, no, no. I did not
Can I
expect that.
can I convince you to buy back into Jerome
Oh,
Tang? Just give
God.
Jerome one more chance. Give him one more chance.
Why?
Because Nate Johnson and PJ Haggerty is a fun duo in the backcourt.
I need way more than fun duo. They had
Okay.
the funnest duo in the sport last year, Doug McDaniel and Coleman Hawkins.
Let's see. Okay, what has Jerome Tang done since that magical Elite Eight run?
Disaster. That's it. Like literally. But here's okay. Kansas
Who
State
was
aside,
that?
if the Kansas State thing happens, whatever, round of applause for all parties involved. That would honestly be a great late ad for Jerome. Like if he somehow steals PJ Haggerty, the best shooting guard in America, at the 11th hour, I'll at least give him my attention again, which was not something I was planning on giving him this year. If it happens, it would be a really frustrating thing for me. Why are Doug McDaniel and PJ Haggerty just swapping places? That seems pointless for all parties involved. Memphis must have misplayed that because PJ Haggerty's way better than Doug McDaniel. So, from what I can glean here, unless Kansas State's budget has really gone up, I don't think PJ Haggerty's getting more money than he would have gotten at Memphis from these schools. So why'd you leave Memphis? I don't get it. Memphis was good last year. It was fun. You were the guy that you can make some complimentary ads around you. I thought you left for a payday, and I don't really think you're getting a payday at Kansas State or NC State that's unlike anything you would have gotten in Memphis. The more interesting part of this to me, though, is kind of what you alluded to. What's going on with Will Wade? Because Willie Moneybags, right? That was sort of the whole sell. When you hire Will Wade, you dip your toe into the muck and you get fun players out of it. And he is a good basketball coach. I don't want to minimize that. This is a guy that's put together really good teams in the last couple of years. But when he got to NC State, it was like he's going to have resources. And all we've seen since he really added Trey Holloman is we've got money for stars. Hey, stars, want to come? And then the stars are just like, yeah, no, no thanks. Why is that happening? Or is the money not as real as it seems?
Yeah, I wonder if like the money that seemed like it was a lot a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when Wade got hired, if it just has either evaporated quickly or doesn't go as far as they thought. Because it seems like there has been a market boom. We've heard some of these lucrative deals, and especially the guard market, like really took off after, like guys like Nate George were commanding high seven figures. It seemed like if you were a point guard in this market, you could name your price and someone would pay it. And with Haggerty, I know there were the rumors of like 4 million, where I'm sure he's not going to get that. I still wouldn't be surprised. Like we're looking at a Kansas State team last year who had one of the most expensive starting fives in the sport, and it didn't work out. But they kept Jerome Tang. They didn't move on from him. I wonder if these boosters are still going to like give him another chance. We're not like 2023 and the magical run that was Kansas State wasn't all that long ago. Like I don't know. I kind of made a joke at the top about am I allowed to be back in on them, but I don't think Tank. No, I don't believe that. I was gonna. I don't know. I'm somewhere into thinking like there still might be something there with Jerome Tang. I'm just like part of me wants to believe because I do think Haggerty would be the best guard he's had by far since Marquise Noel. And maybe there's still money there that can pay for him either more than what State or more than what Memphis was going to offer him because these donors are still willing to throw around money and take one last crack at it before they tell Tank to get lost.
It's the faith-driven man in you. You don't want to give up on another faith-driven man in Jerome Tang. I get it. Nobody dislikes Jerome Tang. You're not going to find anybody on earth who's like, screw that guy. We all love him. College basketball is way more fun when that guy's winning.
Mhm.
But he's fumbled a lot since that one magical season. And
Yeah,
I don't know. I kind of can't take him seriously after
that's
how much he spent last cycle and the product that was put on the floor. Um, I would not have great faith that it would lead to winning if PJ Haggerty ends up at Kansas State, but I would be a lot more intrigued by it. If this is what's going on, if Haggerty is seriously giving Kansas State a lot of serious consideration right now, when everybody thought it was a done deal at NC State, to me, this would be the Batman signal for the better, bigger spender programs with championship shit to them to swoop back in and get PJ Haggerty. Like if we're really not a done deal to NC State, if we're like maybe Jerome Tang, like come on, Kansas, what are you doing? Just make the call. Just do it. Let's be big boys here. I don't know if you would put your program on the list of big boys that should maybe call PJ Haggerty, but there's 4 or 5 schools that I think should have had interest in PJ Haggerty from the jump that for whatever reason have not. If Kansas State might steal him at the last second, they should circle the block, I think.
I agree with you on that. It's I don't know, man. I feel like I'm waffling so much on both Tang, Kansas State as a whole, and PJ Haggerty because there's part of me, I said at the top, this feels very much on brand with what we've seen out of Kansas State the past two off seasons. There's part of me that thinks like, is it a chicken or the egg situation that it affects? Like, if PJ Haggerty ends up at Kansas State and getting a bag to go there, does that just mean he wasn't as good as like us common folks thought he was? And maybe these coaches see something that we don't. But at the same time, I still trust what my eyes told me last year that Haggerty is this dynamic combo guard who gets to the line at will. And I know the jumper is ugly, but he shot at a high clip last year. Like, he's the only, how many guards that hit the portal this year are really threats to go off for 30 plus on any given night? Like, it's a very small group, and to do that for a tournament team means something. And so it's like the one hand is like the eye test and what I think I know about basketball that makes me think like, okay, yeah, it's sort of cutesy, it's sort of a bit to go to Kansas State, but maybe this ends up working. And then there's the logical side that's like, oh shoot, all these coaches of big time programs, like Nate Oates hasn't been on the phone with PJ Haggerty. And come on, you're telling me that wouldn't be a perfect system fit for a guard that can get up and down and get to the free throw line, like your MO? Like, it's not just Kansas or Carolina or the Blue Bloods that haven't called. It's like those next in line coaches who we think of as like the top of the sport right now. Golden never made the phone call. Like, all of that is like maybe he's just sort of a gimmicky player that we shouldn't be as high on, but I still just don't think that. Like, there's some part of the story here that's not completely clicking.
I completely agree. I don't want to live in the world where that's true, so I'm just going to pretend it's not. I loved watching PJ Haggerty last year. I'll play matchmaker. If Alabama's seriously interested in Des Claude right now, stop. Just take PJ Haggerty instead. It's a way better fit. There's higher upside there. Des Claude can go to Kansas State, and we can still leave Will Wade empty-handed, and you can still smile as it happens.
That's a great solution. This is why, like, honestly, man, I don't know why these coaches don't consult us more.
Mostly because we give them nothing in the case of Will Wade.